Hello again. Well, you already covered a bunch of my background, but I have nothing to say. Yes, okay. Okay, so I started playing when I was 9 years old in the public schools in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And I went all the way through college, majored in music, got my degree in violin performance. And after that, I lived in Germany for 4 years. And even though I studied classical music, I never really felt like that was going to be my path. And I discovered electronics the first time was in Germany the night before. I lived there for 4 years and I ran into the electronics my very last night in the country. And I tried one of these boxes, one of these little pedals, and I couldn't believe that I could make cool sounds on the violin because you didn't do that in classical music. And in 1987, I bought my first electric violin, and that's when I started experimenting with sound. And I played in different bands, and I did start writing. I'm a little bit of a late bloomer. I started writing when I was about 32. And I started recording very soon after that. My first cassette came out it was mastered for CD, but I never put it on CD. Anyway, came out in 1993 or 92. And then the second one I did a CD, and that came out in 1993, and it was very similar to the music I'm doing now, but I was a little too soon. It was too early for that. And then I met my husband, and we started playing in different bands, and then we didn't ever run into the right people. Not that they were wrong, it just didn't fit. And then we were trying to figure out what we could do because we didn't want to get jobs. And so we decided we were going to go do assembly programs in school. So we did that. We were only going to do that for a little while, but we really liked it. So we did it for 20 years. Yeah, I know, right? You have a plan and then it goes this way. And then during COVID, you all know what happened. And we wound up doing our very last school year virtually. We painted our living room wall green, got a bunch of microphones, cameras, and did the whole last year virtual. But in December of 2020, even though we would finish the school year, I knew I didn't want to continue on with the school shows. And I went downstairs, and because my husband's involved, he does all my recording for me and actually makes all this happen. And I came downstairs and said, I don't want to do this anymore. And he said, neither do I. So it was good. And we finished the school year. And then in June of 2021, I got back to, I don't write any of my music down. It's all in my head. And I had all this unfinished stuff and it was making me crazy. So that's why I wanted to get back to my writing, because I thought I don't want to wake up and be 90 and say, oh, I didn't do it. Because I knew by the time you're 90, it's probably too late. So just a guess. So, and that scared me. And so I decided that I wanted to get back to doing that. So I took a little break, and then I started working on my music. And then in June 6th, to be exact, 2022, I fell and I broke this leg in 3 places. Sorry, I haven't been looking at you guys. Hi. I broke this leg in 3 places. I broke my elbow, and but don't feel bad. It was a good thing. I know it sounds weird, but so after and I had to have surgery. And after my leg surgery, they gave me a nerve block. And I was like, oh, this is doable, not realizing. Then the nurse said, honey, it's going to wear off and you're going to be in a lot of pain. I went, oh, okay, that's exactly what happened. 12 hours, and that was exactly like to the minute what happened. And I was laying there in the bed. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. My husband had gone home, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I was in so much pain. They wouldn't give me any more drugs because I had had my limit, according to them. And I'm sure they were right. And so I didn't know what I was going to do because I was just like laying there crying. And I thought, oh, I have Amazon Music on my phone. I'll look up some meditation music. And so I did. And I found a band called White Sun. And the song that I found that I really loved was called Ik Ardas Wahe Guru. And her voice, the woman's voice, sounded like an angel. And I played that song. It was like 7 or 8 minutes long. I played it over and over and over and over and over and over, and it really made me feel better. And I thought, you know what? When I get out of here, that's what I'm going to do. So that's what happened. But it was great because when I was healing at first, when I started with the PT and everything, I couldn't do anything else around my house. I literally couldn't clean. I couldn't do anything. And it was perfect because after 5 weeks, I was able to play again. And so all I could do was sit there. So it was, and I knew it was a small window that I probably wouldn't have again, nor did I really want that again. And I just got all these downloads of music. It was like, okay, got it. All right, got it. And that's what happened. So that's pretty much my story of how I wound up here. And the actual way that I got here, I met Melissa and her husband at Chantil Yoga because I played there on Thanksgiving Day. And I spoke to her husband and he told me about Circle of Miracles. And it sounded like a good idea to me. So I contacted, well, I think I emailed you, but I didn't know it was you. I just emailed. I didn't know who it was. I just emailed Circle of Miracles. And then here we are. So that's pretty much what happened. But it's really funny because the name Circle to me is very relevant because I feel literally like I've come full circle. So it's very cool. And then the other weird thing, weird or not weird, but I know I can say that to this group. I had this period of time for like 8 or 9 months with the number 11. It was 111, 111, or 11. It was everywhere for a while. And it was really, and the interesting part is that the address of Chantil Yoga is 111. So after I met Melissa and her husband, I was like, oh, this is just too perfect. Talk about coincidences, which I don't really believe in anyway, but it was all meant to be. So that's how I wound up here. Okay, so that's that part of the story. Next part of the story, my crack into the spiritual domain. When I happened kind of early, I was 18 and I was playing in the pit orchestra in high school a couple weeks ago. And it was after the show. My friend and I were driving around smoking pot. And it was dark out. And we were in my neighborhood and there were tons of potholes. And all of a sudden she said, a lump is a hole. And I went, what? A lump is a hole. And she was really freaked out. I thought something went wrong with the drugs, And a lump is a hole. A lump is a hole. And I stopped the car. I go, all right, what are you talking about? She goes, well, the potholes, they're concave. I went, yeah. She goes, well, if you were a bug on the other side of the ground, that would be convex if you looked at it. And I went, oh, so, okay, great. So what? She goes, well, everything's like that. Everything that you think is opposite isn't. It's only a matter of how you look at it. Like everything you've read in a book, everything your parents have told you, everything. And we sat there for hours that night until like 4 a.m. I go, what about stop and go? She goes, well, we're sitting here and we're stopped, but the planet's moving. And I went, oh man, this is really, and then I was so scared because I didn't know what to think about anything. Everything was confusing to me. And then I just sort of went about my business and it stayed with me for a long time. I had no idea there were Eastern religions. I had no idea that any of that stuff was going on. I didn't even think to go to the library to look anything up. It didn't even occur to me. And my friend she was the only person I could talk to about it. Everybody else we tried to tell thought we were crazy, didn't want to hear about it. So I kind of just stuffed it in and just let it go for a while. But then when I started writing, I wrote this piece called A Lump is a Hole. And that's the piece I'm going to play now because it's relevant to what I'm doing here and what you guys are all here too. And I recorded it first back in 92, but it was very sketchy. I had the basic parts to it, but the melody was there, but it was very sketchy. Since that time, I've put it into a whole piece of music and it's a lot more makes sense now. So that's that. Okay. Lump is a hole. Should I play the okay. Right. Music. What if I forgot something?
Wait, is this in a way
Sorry, I'm going to say one more thing. Was it? No, don't touch. Thank you. Okay. It's good. I'm good. Sure no, I'm good. Thank you. I forgot to say that I am using sound effects made for electric guitar because they don't make anything for violin, not yet. But so what? Do it anyway. And then I'm using this looper box, enables me to do on the spot recording which this piece is going to be all live looping. But the first piece you heard, this looper box also enables me to do pre-recorded tracks, and all the tracks that you heard were me. But if I do them all live, it takes forever. So that's why I'm not. Okay, now I'm done.